Okay, let's try this. Let's see if this streaming thing works today. So I started the stream up. It was running, and then it just errored in OBS and said the stream key was invalid. So I shut OBS down, started OBS back up, hit start. It said the stream key is invalid. I gave it a second and hit it again, and it worked fine. Well, it's the third time in as many weeks that that's happened. So I think after stream today, I will renew my stream key. I don't think it's compromised, but yeah. What does that allow? Someone to stream as me? Okay. So. What are we going to do today? Today we are going to continue on this path of this behavior. We're going to get this control working. Right, we're going to make this a selection. I think we're going to limit those results. Are we going to artificially limit them in here? Or are we going to limit number equals 10? Limit. And this is going to be limit int. Unused variable. Okay. How do you limit a? Can you actually limit? That's a good point. I said I could, but like to me that just makes sense that you can do it. But limit result GraphQL. Filtering pagination. Chili green. So what I'm going to do, I'll bring this over here. This is worth bringing up. So developers, hot chocolate is the server side. Fetching data, pagination. Connections are standard ways to expose pagination declare. I'm not looking to paginate. I'm looking to limit because I don't want you to there's no point in providing hundreds or thousands of results, right? There's no point in searching everything, right? The search is going to be eventually more directed. However, now I don't want to return. If you can't enter a search term that finds your thing in like 20 results, then I don't want to really they're just titles, right? So if you don't know the title of what you're looking for, then how do you know what you're joining, what you're limiting on? So you should have an idea. Result limit. Use protection, use filtering, use first to default. That's not what. Interesting. Use paging, use sorting, use filtering. If that's MySQL, yeah. Page info. Like, I don't want to use pagination to do this. This seems like overkill. Right? There's a lot more structure there than necessary. I just want to say, take the first X number, like that. Why does it keep navigating to? Oh, because when I search, it drops me in the 15 documentation, the 13 documentation. How do I limit? Yeah, there's not a limit to your resolver. Yeah, but there's no such thing as limit on hot chocolate. So over here, right, there's no limit. Is this because they don't support pagination on that endpoint? Maybe. Oh, what is going on here? Some weird behavior. Channel, hello. How you doing? Oh, how are you doing today? Okay. So we have our query on planning items. We use sorting, filtering, and projection. There is no more use. Not going into too much detail there. Let's look. So how do we do this? How do we do this? It's not pagination. This will never cease to confuse me. I get it now. Okay. Why do we define this on field? Implementation first. Yeah, that's code first. Users. New edge user. Hmm. I don't want to do. If pagination is the only way I can do it, then I'll skip on this now. But what I wanted to do is just say take the first 20 or whatever, like a limit. Ah, offset. Okay. So if I want to do the limit, I've got to do if I do the offset pagination, I'll get limit, but as I've said, it probably needs to be a more deliberate design anyway. So let's not worry too much about this right this second. Run that up. And then let's go back over here and remove this. And let's worry about the behavior first and then come back on this. Um, so basically, what I want to do is this results is going to float over the top of the panel. It's going to be its own panel. And then the ones we've selected will display below. So let's worry about this first, right? So let's on me. Let's go. Didn't get to do anything last night. That's not going to tell me how to do that in particular. So tailwind, how do I do this? Well, class equals so that's W4. This will be contained within a control, so this is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to results panel. We're going to create, so this is a control, pan item lookup. Dot results panel. And now we can apply any tailwind we want in here. I don't think it is float I want, but we'll find out. No, not float. Well, we know the Z index needs to be increased, that's for certain. apply. That works. Let's try that. Let's go. We signed out. Reloading spinners. Morning, Delta. How you doing? Nice. Glad to hear it. Okay, let's do. Where am I? So this works. New planning item. Okay. Let's put some text underneath there so we can see. So added it requirement dialog. Outcome is required. No, added it planning item. That's what we want. We want to do. Actually, we want to do this, don't we? So it's going to show. Yeah. See, this shouldn't shift down. It should appear underneath. That's the first focus. So we want that to. Interesting. Is that part of Flex though? Search. Okay, let's try that. Makes sense. Let's try that. That should be very obvious. Oh, interesting. Absolute. Relative. See, that doesn't stay over the top there, though. Oh, hold on. It's not what I want. I want that to be nested inside. There you go. So that shouldn't shift, it should overlay. So how do we make it overlay? I'd imagine they... Right, but fixed is not going to do... Fixed is not going to do what I want, because that's going to fill out, yeah, the component that it's in. So that needs to be relative to the component it's at, which makes sense. Is that... What does that do? Nothing. Let's see. I was using Claude to ask the questions of. Yeah, this is absolute though. Okay. The suggestion there is this, where you then say, gotcha. So you make that happen. This all becomes and then pass equals results. Let's see. Yeah. Z50. Border rounded. See if that's subtle enough. Yeah, so that's good. How do I get that background color now? Is the question. So if you do testing, yeah. That's behaving a bit more like what I want. X for is what the AI feature. No, not right now. No. AI is on the list. It is in development. I probably won't share a lot of that until I'm confident that it's ready. Yeah. Dot results panel. Dot results. Dot results. So this is how I'm going to avoid messing around with Tailwind in the screen. list style none. Um, how do I do this? So apply absolute top left right 0. Surprised you aren't using a pop-up component. Dialog. I'm building the control because I want to select these and show these and show them underneath. I don't know of any control in PrimeNG that gives me this particular thing. So I'm searching, right? And I'm going to select a planning item from this list. And then it's going to show a list of the selected planning items underneath here, right? These are dependencies. Yeah. So this is being floated in here so that it's essentially part of that control. That's not happening though, is it? Border rounded. BG. No. No. BG. What am I doing wrong? Yeah, okay. BG. Ooh. That's what I wanted though. BG primary. Primary emphasis. I want surface. Swedish visitor. Nice. Results panel. $22 viewers. Nice. Nice. That's apply P4. 2. So that has no height. That isn't going to do anything. Ugh. Sorry. Okay, that's better. Not perfect, but That's not breaking under that text because that text is after this this component, so I'm not worried about that. What do I want here to happen? The next code base article got 28 views. Topic people care about, right? What do I want to happen here? Well, I need row highlighting. So maybe I can kind of mix a control in with this here. So look, prime ng. I don't want to invent. I don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? I'm not trying to do that piece. There you go. List. Pick list. My mouse not working. There you go. Colonel J, hello. How you doing? Is this how people write CSS? No. This is how people are playing with the styles without messing around with HTML stuff. I'm just putting it in here for right now to decide what to do with that. And I use Tailwind. What would you prefer to see? HTML only use frameworks. Interesting. So the Tailwind classes give me a lot of out-of-the-box behavior that I don't have to mess around creating massive class lists, massive files. I'm doing this simply so I can play with these in the CSS, so it's out of the way of the markup. This is not my favorite place to be. So being that I'm not a front-end expert, I want to get this done and functional enough to get the concept across. You know, I don't have very many options there, short of, yeah. So Tailwind gives me the ability to use some easy indicators to do quite a lot of different things. And in general, I can understand what they're doing. If I have to go off and figure it all out in CSS, which I've done in the past. It's not like it's completely uh, inept. It's just Tailwind speeds me up a little bit there. What I'm looking for is to see if there's a control built into PrimeNG that I can use to drop in here. So what I'm looking to do, so there's no control to do what I'm trying to achieve here, right? Yes, there is a drop down list, but that drop down list is not. Actually, maybe it can be. Maybe I can not do this way and use a more. Because not a select. Um, Maybe an autocomplete will do what I want. Problem is the suggestions are dynamic. Let's try it with an autocomplete. Let's scrap this for a second. Let's make that. Um, um, no, I don't think it's a hot take. That's why I asked the clarification. I'm okay with people saying that, as I'm like Colonel's done, like sat here and talked about it, right? That's what I want. I don't care about someone coming and saying, really? As long as this happens, right? Where we have a discussion. So I don't call it, oh, it's a hot take. Um, so basically the reason I'm doing the apply is because I hate mixing it in with the HTML. If I move it around afterwards, like I don't have a I think the apply makes more sense to keep the HTML clean and be more intentful about this local component, right? That's why I'm using that method rather than just sticking it all in the HTML, which most people would do, right? Um, it's a So that's why I was doing it that way. I think there's a crossed over. Um, so yes, people aren't doing it this way. Um, uh, I kind of like doing it this way because it keeps it in sight for me without actually messing around with all the HTML. So yeah. Um, to be honest, I actually haven't seen anybody use this. Um, I see it all in the HTML. Well, it's like everything. There's different ways of doing it. Um, Again, this isn't my wheelhouse, right? This is not. I need to be as comfortable with changing this as I can be, but the front end just isn't my wheelhouse. I would much rather prefer to have. Um, Sorry. Oh, that might be a better control. Oh, that might be. Yes, we found it. We found it. This is what I want to use. It's much cleaner. What's without type ahead? Oh, okay. So we want with type ahead. Yes, because we want the suggestions. Okay, so how do I fire this though? That's the challenge. Right. So if that's term, we have ng model change again. Right. Label for, let's assume that that label is dealt with outside. And input ID is equals ID. Let's do, why isn't autocomplete working here? That's why. Because they've removed the lowercase version of it. Or the, like, I'm not quite sure what I'm missing to stop this happening, but this drives me crazy. So term updated. Complete method. What's complete method? Search. Options. So basically, oh no, hold on. Can I do that? That'd be awesome if I could do that. Mm. So the complete method, virtual scroll, full selection group, template, objects. You can also work on using the field. That's fine. Suggestions. Oh, hold on. Do I need suggestions? Let's figure out. Can we do? Can we change this back a little bit? Can we make it so that term isn't a signal? Public search string is a string, right? Actually equals that. Then let's do public search, and then let's get the autocomplete argument. So let's just do event for right a second. Event autocomplete event, and then do that equals event.query. Async search. Now can I do multiple fluid on, what was it called? Oh, complete method equals search event. Will that work the same way? Unsupported expression of a two-way binding. Oh, because that's term. We want, actually, this doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all, does it? If we're firing that event every time, right? Uh, okay. Mm. That is firing off the query in the background, but it's not working asynchronously. So it's not giving the complete suggestions. But I don't get how that would. So it is getting a result back from the server. Um, Drop down. We don't want to drop down. Reactive forms. I mean, that's not going to make a difference. Reactive forms isn't going to. So this dot items and then our. Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it. We're not returning anything. We need. Do this. Oh, I know what to do it. We do that. Event.query. Right. And then we do suggestions equals that. How do we get this? Can't do it. Oh, oh, it didn't not do that, did it? No. Not assignable. So it's not like it was resolving it funny. Mm, that would be awesome if it worked. Because then what we do is when we get the autocomplete, we just set the term and then all this other stuff goes away. And then the same thing works. However, search string is still completely useless. We assume that it debounces as well for us. That is an important distinction. So suggestions is filtered countries, not really. Fil- the TypeScript doesn't even. Oh, what? Toggle full code. Selected country, new form control. Search. There's selected country. What is filtered countries? Be interested to see if this works. Like, oh, country service. There we go. Country service. Where are you? Oh, wow. Helpful. So I'm going to assume. Well, how we don't do anything with country service. This is a completely, yeah, it's completely filtered countries doesn't exist. Right. So how does autocomplete uses NG model for two-way binding requires a list of suggestions and a complete method to query for the results. The complete method gets the query text as event query property and should update the suggestions with the search results. That's great. But why do we need search text at all? Why do we need value at all that is completely useless? And we don't use, well, suggestions items. Okay, so it is meant to work that way. Okay. So let's take that out again. So, well, no, we don't need to do that. We just need to do um, just need to trigger this. Yeah, so we need a private take this, put that in there. Event.query. There you go. Right. Instead of this, we do results is, it's not gonna like that, but right. This dot results equals yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's remove the observable. We don't need that. Result. Not all core paths return a value. We don't need that this way now. We can do but then this dot results equals results. Not all core paths return a value. Oh, because this just there you go. Morning, how are you? How are you doing, Tricky? Who's your favorite Gen 1 Pokemon? Gen 1. Um, Squirtle. And I don't like sandals. Waking up's good. That is a very good thing to be doing. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Um, Planning test. The heck is that? Come on. I really wish they'd make this consistent. This is annoying. Why? Why are you different sizes? uh, okay, let's not worry about that. Oh, let's just not worry at all then. Hey, that makes sense. Well, but you didn't even show my ag. Oh, I don't get this. This is weird. Sizes. What size? Small, size, large. Just no. It's clearly not working, or it's not consistent because they don't agree in size. That's not fun. And actually, review date on there is the incorrect size. Review date, review date, review date, review date, review date. Size large. Oh, that's gonna bug me now. No, I see it. I can't unsee it. Why does well A that matters nothing, so I don't know why I need search string at all. B this has absolutely nothing to do with anything. You can't put an icon on this autocomplete, so that's where does it disappear? Oh goodness me. Can I do input P auto? No, no. That's the idea of the input, but why does the input disappear if I don't have that control there? Let's remove them. Remove them. Hold on, actually, let's make sure that I'm not breaking Angular. That's the problem. Icon field is not used within the template of. Oh, it's because of these. If you don't use them, Angular complains. There we go. That should better. That should make that better. Dear. Size equals large. That still won't make that any better because oh no, it made that much better. Class equals width full. What full is? That's fine. Well, actually, let's do that back. But then on here, class equals width full. Nope. That's interesting. Oh, let's worry about the behavior first. Yay. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. We do need attached to though, that's for certain. So we have that. So that's, we can solve that with the object thing, that's fine. Let's do it this way for now. Objects. Option label. Yeah. Option label equals title. Right? Because that's going to be did it break again? No. No, we're just not going to work now, are we? We were working a second ago. We're not going to work. Oh, there we go. Hey, maybe. How's things? Test spotting item. Okay. So that's the one. Now let's do multiple fluid. Oh, that's what changes it. Hold on. So fluid. So putting multiple on there makes the control size incorrect. Okay, we'll just assume that they're going to fix that. Oh, that's not. Okay. Like, how do I cancel that? And is it actually searching? Because as far as like, is it a problem with this? for those that don't know, maybe is a app developer building a personal fitness application, um, and also a gamer. So you can go into the stream at different times and get different games. You might get Dead by Daylight or Resident Evil 2, or you could get some coding or bot work like you were doing the other week. Hey Zons, good morning. You remember me? I lurk more than I chat, by the way. So if it's on a weekend, I will chat, but normally I'll lurk and not say anything. So okay, let's remove this stuff. All that effort that went into the debounce. Oh, let's remove that. Clean this up a little bit. Get rid of all this stuff. Yeah, that's it. You have a really good stream to hang out with. A lot of good sense of humor in there. Bunch of people that love hanging out. And also like a choice of music when I'm just sat here coding on a weekend. I have a couple of questions. If I wanted to run web jobs, what's a good solution for that? I don't use the existing job system in .NET. If I have to process messages async, what's a good solution for that? Budget friendly. Web jobs. Um, um, you don't want to use the existing job system in .NET. What existing job system in .NET are you talking about exactly? Um, if I have to process messages async, what's a good solution for that? Processing messages from what? Are you talking about like Kafka, service bus? Are you on a platform? Are you building it locally? Um, if you're running um, Azure or AWS, you obviously got options there for functions to pick up messages as inputs, outputs. The web job interface because I'm running mod. Right. Um, so sorry, I'm just trying to get my head around what you're trying to do there. So web jobs I haven't used in Azure. Um, so that's why I was confused with the .NET piece, right? So the existing job system in .NET, there's no native. I mean, there's background workers. You can create an application that runs as a background task, um, and do it that way. But that's how I do my consumers here, for Kafka. So that kind of both things. Um, so I'm not what problem are you trying to solve? I suppose is um, and why don't you want what existing job system are you talking about other than web jobs, right? Yeah, they're going to run per instance because you're going to spool up if you spool up multiple, so you need to deal with idempotency on messages, etc. Right. So you've got. I mean, I haven't used web jobs, but you can have continuous and triggered. So you could have a continuously running web job. Um, no music. I don't listen to music when I code anymore, and also um, I just don't like playing music. I've had issues with strikes as is, and I'm not messing around with that. And it's never been a problem for most viewers, so I don't really uh, think about it. Um, and why did they pick Go? Um, well, he explained it as it's just they can port the code pretty easily, and it works nicely. Um, yes, and up to now, TypeScript's written in TypeScript. Um, I need to run like cron jobs. So I mean, if you want to run cron jobs, right now I'm in AWS with what I'm doing with regard to cron jobs. So we kind of create event bridge rules, which are triggers. I'm pretty sure there's an equivalent of that. You can also set actually you can. I've been experimenting with a bit of where is it? Is it platform? No, it's not platform. ETL, Game Trove Cloud, new window. I have been experimenting with functions. Um, let's say I have a calendar feature. I need to send reminders 3 days, 1 day, and 1 hour before an event. Um, I mean, you're basically looking to trigger a um, I mean, in that case, if you have multiple events, then you're basically saying, okay, well, constantly check to see. You could use something like um, a saga or something. If you per instance, if you had but if you had lots of them, that can be very inefficient. 1 second, I will be right back. Um, sorry about that. So the dogs came in. Um, so I have this function. Where is it? Fetch pricing update. Um, this function right now is disabled, so I can test it. But this I can set a cron style trigger on. Um, for async message processing, let's say I need to send a large number of notifications. Don't want to do that in a web API thread. Separate web. Yeah, yeah. I would create a service of some form. I'm still getting my head around the different options for services in the cloud stuff. Up until now, most of my experience has been um, on-prem architecture. Um, I'm trying to get my bearings with the right tools to use for the right things in cloud stuff. Um, but basically it comes down to how long do you need something to run for. If you need that notification to be instantaneous, then so in this case for the pricing update, what I'm doing is I'm triggering off this thing which goes to price charting and gets me a file, right? So this download the current pricing file. This, when it downloads, it returns a blob output and saves that. I've then got a trigger that says, okay, well, I've got a file, right? So it triggers on the existence of that file now. It goes and gets that file, processes it, then loops through and returns a list of these records. Those are queued to the pricing updates queue. So that pushes out those things. So I can then deal with them however I want to do. So you could build the application using multiple functions. But if things are running longer, obviously functions aren't perfect. But if it's like I need to process this and send it somewhere, let's do it. Like I could have, like for me, I'd probably create multiple um, consumers of those messages. Um, Yeah, so in Liquid Sky, I have consumers at services. But if this was going to the cloud, I'm sure that wouldn't be necessarily the best way of doing it. But I do have like the view consumers here where they are, and even this would scale out, right? I would actually break these out into individual instances. I wouldn't actually have these all in one. They're all in one now because it's the best way to test it locally. But ultimately, this will deal with, oh, this happened. Let's trigger off. So the notifications piece actually of the application does something similar, right? Where it receives something changed, a planning item changed. This is very rough just to test it. Figures out what changed and then says, hey, who cares about this? We need to publish notifications. Um, so yeah, it actually looks for subscribers to that entity. Ultimately, we'll deal with things like, okay, what are this thing changed? What do they subscribe to? And this publishes this actually sends a command to tell that person send to user inbox. Right. So that's how I do it there. So yeah, I wouldn't put receivers in my web APIs. I do have web API background services running for sending notifications out the application as part of the API. So each API does have worker processes running for outbox notifications, etc. But yeah, like I said, when it comes to cloud stuff, I'm still trying to learn my way around the right tools. There's there's lots of options. Um, like when I'm with AWS, I'm looking at, okay, we'll do a create a service. How do I create that? It needs to run for quite a while. A Lambda function isn't the way to go, um, etc. So, um, but I am. So this project is a side project. Basically, I'm trying to recreate what I have with my current application, my game tracking application, in functions, um, and yeah, it dawned on me that if you look at this, it doesn't look too much different to what I've got in Liquid Sky. So if I made these API endpoints functions, it wouldn't actually be too difficult to port. So yeah, revisit the concept of a microservice. Well, I kind of see the point. So with this, if I have an input, like let's say a lot of people are creating planning items, like let's say the planning items are the majority of requests into this API. I don't want to scale up all of this for the sake of that one endpoint. If I make it a function, I can scale that function endpoint up. So right now I've got this set as an API endpoint, right? So no, this one, no, manual pricing update. Yeah, trigger pricing manual, right? So I can scale up this one function and have it execute, you know, um, uh, um, more efficiently. And then these others don't have to, like get games, list games. They can all scale independently using with functions and Lambda, whatever. Whereas if they're in a traditional API, uh, I scale the entire thing, which is probably more costly because I'd have to scale an app service at some point. Right now, you can with Azure at least, you can create a function app with a bunch of functions and then create an API app that make it all look like one API. So you can actually produce an API spec of it. Rumbly Geek, good afternoon. How are you doing? So this control is semi what I want. It works there. It works there. It works. Oh. Oh. It's temperamental. Do we go with it for now? I think we do. I think we have to. Um, Not too bad. Not too bad. So how do I get the oh, that's why, because I need to do the binding to the actual form control. That's the fun part. By fun, I mean. So what we do is go over to close these down. Go over to here. Look at reactive forms. And no, that's not how we do it. So we do um, modules, shared at this level, components, select, project multi-select, something similar to this. So we have selected, planning item result. So what we're going to do is we inherit from this control. So this is what sets it up to allow it to be part of a form control. So I'm creating a custom control and I'm providing this value accessor. And this is allowing me to have multiple of the same control in the same form. And we then implements the control value accessor. This puts all the right interface elements on it for it to interact with the reactive forms. That's all this is doing, right? We then need to implement this. And what this does is provides all our it's going to be a problem, but we'll figure it out. This provides our selected values. This is, how do we give us the unchanged function so we can trigger it and tell you, oh, by the way, it changed. Give it the touched function and set disabled. This allows us to interact with the entire reactive forms piece. I would be lying if I said I fully understood that, but let's go. Okay, so I'm going to paste this in because mostly this is what I want to do. However, actually, that's nullable, isn't it? If values, yeah. So if we have values, the length. Yeah. So that allows us to set the value. We need functions. So these are, I mean, basically it's this repeated. So what I've been doing is just putting these in there the same way. And that's untouched. And what we do is this dot untouched equals fn. This dot unchange equals fn. So we're just kind of wiring that function up so it definitely works. Disabled. Oh, we're going to need that. I know we're going to need that. That's going to stop that where we go to look up something. If the text is too big, it will shift the form. This will mean that it'll append it to the root component, and that overlay it will kind of break out the dialogue. It won't look very pretty, but it will at least not shift everything around properly, weirdly. And then disabled. Public is disabled, boolean false. This dot is disabled. Okay, and then disabled equals is disabled. Does this have attached to? Append to? Append to? Did I make that a signal or did I make that a... Yeah, it's a signal. Okay, so we need to resolve it. Okay. That way in here, append to equals append to. It kind of passes it down. That's what I was doing. All right, what? Mr. Jones, hello. How are you doing? Right, that's exactly how I'm doing it. Append to equals. There you go. Okay. There you see it breaks out now. Is it pretty? Absolutely. Don't sound too enthusiastic by my presence. Okay. I can do that. What we need is how do we bind? So the example is going to give us how to bind that to a form control, right? So we have a form group, but we don't have a form group here. We're not passing down the reactive form. It's not like you say, hey, here's the form control. What we do is in this form, we create a control for public dependencies, form control, yeah, equals new form control, planning item, result array, or null, right? So then we have dependencies. We're going to worry about dependencies equals this dependencies. And then we're going to do form control equals dependencies. So that's going to give us access to those selected values now. So what I normally do is just to make sure that things are displaying properly is I'll do dependencies.value pipe to JSON. JSON. Right? Yeah, that's what I want. That way when I change it, I should see that value change. However, we need to now understand when the value changes because it's not actually, I'm not actually using a reactive form here. I just need to know the event, and that's not going to give me that. Right. So what we do, we go up here, API emitters, events, autocomplete selected, autocomplete select. What's that? Events, but what on select, on show, on clear, on blur, on focus, on hide. So we need to bind to on select and on equals we need results changed event. This is going to be or autocomplete. Oh, does it still, hold on. Are they both auto? Oh no. Unselect event. Right, it's going to be one of them. On unselect, results changed event. Right, and then now our model makes sense because we can do, oh, let's rearrange this so we can put some order into things. No, that's a required service. They're all public because they're all in the client. That's technically an input, so that's fine. That's a method. We don't have any constructor or anything. However, results, public selected is a planning item result array. Do I? Oh no, current What I'm wondering is, well, I know I can't use ng model, right? Ng model equals selected, right? That isn't allowed. Or is it? If I do ng model change equals Oh, hold on. If I don't think that's actually how that works. Um, I'll do this. Is that not how that is? No. How do I do it? Instance of, okay, so it's not that, it's that. Select the event. But that doesn't work. Is only used. Instance in. You can use in operator to check if swim in pet. Pet.fly, pet.swim. Right, selected equals event as auto complete select event. Let unselected equals event as that if selected. I mean, it works. It isn't pretty, but it works. Type of guards, instance of type guards. But it doesn't like using, you can't do instance of on that. It's not because what I would normally do is I'd say, okay, if event instance of auto complete complete select event, right? That's how I'd normally do that. Only refers to a type, but it is being used as a value here. That doesn't make sense based off their own documentation. Oh, it's an interface. Yeah, it's not. It's an interface. It's not. Yeah. The right side of instance of needs to be a constructor type. Okay. Constructor function. So it doesn't allow for interface checks. Inference from map types. Interfaces versus typed. Go to new page. What was I looking at? This is advanced types and differentiating types. Yeah, let's leave it as that right now. Because we're doing this dot selected dot set this dot selected else. Not liking this so far. I mean, this will help me learn better ways, I suppose, if I can find the right uh solution. But ultimately, what I want to do is I want to remove. So this is going to say, okay, add that onto the set, and that's going to track. That's going to track. Let's test that. Let's see if that works first. Before we worry too much about removing, let's see if that works at all. So go in here, right? We've got an array of empty. We do planning. We do that. See, that doesn't change anything. Oh, unchange this unchange dot emit. Let's try that now. New planning. Nope. Did it error? Yes, it did. Selected value is not iterable. Must supply a value for form control with name dependencies. Oh, okay. So some errors in the page. Right, so dependencies. No, not that one. Store dot set value. Here we go. Dependencies. Okay. Let's get to the point where we don't have an error to start with. That's always a good step. Planning. No change, but an error selected that value is not iterable. Right, so that is because in here, selected dot value debugger new panning item. Okay, so what we have is selected dot value is a planning item. Yep, that's fine. And this dot selected is an empty array. So we're going to update the array, we're going to write the value of the array back to itself with an extra item. However, it's saying we can't do that with selected.value. Oh, because that's not right, is it? It's my syntax is wrong there, I think. I think I want to do dot 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 that, right? We're guaranteeing that that's going to be an array. I think that's what I should be doing. Oh, I'm just making this up as I go along, right? Planning. This onChange emit is not a function. I mean, it's not a function. How do I do it elsewhere? This selected. So normally I do. Oh, just call it. Okay, that's why. Okay, let's try that once more. Your planning item, planning. Well, we didn't get an error. We don't see anything, but we didn't get an error. This dot selected. That I don't think that's the right thing to do, but let's find out. Planning. Oh yeah, it is. There you go. Testing. There you go. There's our objects. Planning. Test. That's interesting. Interesting behavior. Let's go back to source. Let's put a breakpoint here. And now let's go and delete one again and see what happens. So selected is set. So an unselected event is a type of selected event. So, but okay, so let's run that. Now let's see if we do a yeah, let's just reload. We select one. Right. So selected is true. Unselected. But we don't know what. Original event. Okay. Let's break them up. Let's break them up. It's fine. Selected. Item selected. Event.value. That. And then item unselected. I mean, technically I want and dot value dot that's a rebuild. Let's just assume that Angular lost its mind after all those changes. Okay. So not really as far as I wanted to get today at all. You know, I wanted to have this control in place. I've got the server side code for it wired up. I just need to get this working. So we have that, right? Now object. Okay, so it knows that piece. I think I've done this before, right? I've done the remove from stuff before. On projects change. On change. I don't think we have an on change event on this one, do we? No, we don't. We have on select on. We don't have a current list maintained by. Unless. That's project multi-select. If we do have result, why am I doing it that way? I must have been doing it for a reason. So that takes selected, but then on change, I post that. Right, because that control has that available to it. But anyway, um, I'm going to continue to get this working. So over the weekend, I will spend time getting this control in place so that dependencies work. So I'm close, right? Because I've got the list coming through. So the next thing to do is get these to post to the server as a list of IDs. These IDs here, right? So post to the server, and now we have those dependencies, and then get the display over here to show that list of dependencies. Once that's done, it's a case of edit. So I would expect by Monday, by Tuesday next week, to have all the dependencies in place. But tomorrow will be developers.stream. We'll be back on getting that Twitch login, hopefully over the line. The workflow just needs a little bit more effort. We need to make sure that button works. Hey Palm. So yeah. So anyway, that's going to be it for today, I'm afraid. So good time in Nepal. But yeah, so gradually adding the functionality. After the dependencies are in there, once we've got those dependencies working, I've got a few other ideas around other features that are required for go live of this product. So the ability to estimate nothing personal. The ability to estimate, put some estimations on those tasks, be able to kind of show that those estimations. I want to kind of tackle some of those things soon because I think that helps demonstrate the entire thing and show the differences between what is Jira and what is Liquid Sky. Right? What am I trying to do that is different here over a traditional product management tool? Well, traditional. Jira. It's not traditional. It's just the biggest. So, yeah. But unfortunately, I have to go. So, thank you very much for joining me. We are going to go raid Fullbots. Fullbots is a game developer who has recently released, yeah, his game, which is awesome, and I highly recommend checking out. Blockshot. Yeah, it'd be nice to work on Liquid Sky full time. I would do this full time if I could, and I would stream 8 hours a day. So, but anyway, that's me for today. Back on developers.stream tomorrow. If you're new to the stream and if you've just been hanging out, there is a Discord linked in the cards below. You're more than welcome to join if you want to ask further questions or chat about this stuff. I do apologize. Client side is not my favorite thing. It's not my talent. But we'll get there. So thank you for joining me. Take care. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Take care.